Keanu and Coco and Stephanie, hello to you three. Thanks for being here. Let's give you some points for being here. So, Keanu, Stephanie, and Coco. Super. And I've also got Jonathan. And I've got Aaron. Hello, Aaron. Hello, Frederica. Hello, Yo. Hello, Julius. Thanks, everybody, for checking in. While we're gathering up, let's see if you got any questions about next week. So type in if you want to ask me something about next week. I don't know everything, but I can tell you what I know if you're unsure. Hello, Remy. Hello, UCN. Hello, Lisa and Emelina. Super. Got more than half of you already. That's great. Looking for Brooks and Tilly. Looking for Mick and Tully. Looking for Marino and Jordan. Looking for Emil and David and Matthew. There's a couple. Good. That is true, Coco. Okay. David, I gotcha. And Tilly, I gotcha. And Brooks is here. Good. So Brooks, Tilly, and David. Dynamite. I've got most of you now. Looking for Mick, looking for Tully, looking for Marino, Jordan, Emil, and Matthew. If we don't want to go due to the pandemic, do we still have to go? Julius, you still have to go unless you have some excuse from your parents. So they would need to contact the school at that point. For example, if I was living with a grandmother and she couldn't get the info for some reason and she was in danger, then probably my parents would be able to write something to the school so that I would stay home. Um, but otherwise, you should be in school. Yes, it's still Schulpflicht. How long will we be at school? Okay, Stephanie, the plan now is next Monday, you guys will be split into an A group and a B group. And I assume your homeroom teacher has talked to you about which group you're in. So next group, far as I know, is the A group. And you will have your regular school schedule, except that it will only be half of you. I don't know what room you will be in. You might be in the white building room you've been in for a long time, or you might be in the different rooms. They will let you know your schedule probably by the end of the week. You have the groups. Good. So far as I know, it will be, Stephanie and everybody, a regular school day for those that are in school, except you'll be with just half of your colleagues, half of your fellow students. 10th grade started this week with that. So I had my A group of 10th graders yesterday, and I taught half of them. In other words, the A group. I assume it'll be the same next week, but if we have a lockdown or something, all bets are off. As we say in Montana, keep your arms loose and nobody gets hurt. So you got to be flexible, right? As do I. So I assume I'll see you next week. I hope so. I'd sure like to, but I don't know if that's a guarantee. Exactly. So Stephanie, from 8 to 1500, unless you have like a 10th period, but that's usually 11th and 12th grade. What happens to the students that are at home? Good question. If you really have an excuse not to be there, then I don't know what I'm going to do. I'll send you some YouTube or something to watch to cover some of the material UCN. But I'll be honest, I can't teach you at school and at home at the same time. I'm not allowed to have my laptop there to live stream at the same time I have my live class. They won't let us do that. So I don't know what I'm going to do with those of you that are stuck at home. I'll try and cover the same material somehow, but it certainly will not be the same experience of being at school. I can't do labs with you if you're at home. Um, I'll just try and send you some YouTubes and ask you some questions maybe, but there's only one of me. I can't teach two places at the same time. Right, so they'll get online assignments. Exactly, Emelina. Okay, so UCN's question is, what does B group do while A group is at school? And it's the same answer as Emelina gave. I will try and provide you some online instruction. Like what I did with my 10th grade is I had a YouTube that I sent to the B group, and I asked them certain questions for them to answer while they watched the YouTube, just a short video. So whatever I send you, UCN, if you're in the B group, while A is in school, just do that assignment. And I guarantee it won't take you forever. My assignments rarely do, I hope. Exactly, Emelina. That's the plan. Okay, that's the plan. Good. Any other questions from all of you to get that cleared up so you know what's going on for next week? All right, last check before I put this aside. Still looking for Mick and still looking for, was she there? No, still looking for Tully, Marino, Jordan, Emil, and Matthew. We'll put that aside. Okay, so my people, I sent you back the homework that I gave, both the one on mole problems, the second one, which was not too bad, and the one on gram problems, which was a disaster. I seldom say that to a group, but I had like, out of your group, I had 10 zeros. 10! Either A, you didn't do it, or B, you didn't do it right at all. So today is a review day, and we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to warm up your brains after our spring break. Get thinking about chemistry. We'll do a mole problem, then we'll do a gram problem with the equation I put on the board. So grab out a sheet of paper, grab a calculator, and a periodic table. So can you find those three things, please? Paper, periodic table, calculator. And I got my periodic table here. You're going to calculate, so I don't need a calculator. And I'm going to do it on my whiteboard. Okay, I'm going to get this nice and close so you can see. Let me read off what we got here, warm up, okay? So get your brains around a little chemistry this morning. Here we go. It says for HCl, which is an acid, by the way, you'll study in 9th grade, a very strong acid. It's one that's in your stomach. It helps digest food. For HCl plus O2, you know what that is. You're breathing it, right? And that's a diatomic molecule, right? Forms 3Cl2. Cl2, another diatomic molecule, right? When it's an element, just like O2, Cl2 comes in twos, hence the di in diatomic. Plus 2 H2O, you know what that is, right? You drink it all the time. Here we go. So I'm going to just start with something easy. Okay, see if you can remember how to do this. So find the molar mass of HCl. Can everybody do that? So please find your periodic table. See if you can remember how to find the molar mass. Okay, so look them up on the periodic table. Round it to the tenths place, as we agreed at the beginning of this course. And I see Tully is here. Thank you, Tully, for checking in. Type in an answer when you get it. Type in your answer when you find that, the molar mass of HCl, hydrochloric acid. Brooks is hot on the draw. Here we go, 36.4. Let's see if others agree, disagree. HCl. And I got David has 36.4. I got Lisa 36.5. And Remy is 36.458. And Yuli is 36.4, 36.5. Okay, it looks like it's between, remember we're gonna round to the 10th place. So like point something, that's the 10th place. And I got half of you that want to say 36.4 and the other half 36.5. Let's see who's right. Ready? Check it out. H is 1.0 grams, right? 1.0. Forget about that 0079. We're going to round to the 10th place. Cl is 35.45. So gang, it's 35.5. Okay? We're going to round to the 10th place. That's what tenths means. All righty? And that makes 36.5 grams. And now we're going to write it differently. It's grams per mole. So please add the label to that as well. Labels are a big deal, as many of you are finding out in chemistry. Turns out in physics, like next year, labels are a big deal as well. So labels, or in German Einheit, is really important in science. For my German colleagues, not just for me. Okay, so it is indeed 36.5 if we measure it out. Let's do another one. So this time we're going to review a mole problem. So ready? Here we go. If 82 moles of HCl are used, how many moles of Cl2 form? So it's a mole problem. You can tell that because I give you moles and I ask for moles. So clearly a mole problem. Okay, that's an O. All right, let's just read this in moles. Remember, reactions are not in grams, they're in moles. So I got 4 moles HCl plus 1 mole of O2. Remember, there's a 1 there if I don't put anything. Forms, makes, or yields 3 moles of CO2 plus 2 moles of water. Okay, I'm going to make a plan as we talked about before, and let's see if you can help me with that. Okay, look at what I gave you. I gave you this amount of moles of HCl. So we're starting out with moles of HCl. This is my plan, all right? Plan only involves labels, no numbers. Just a plan, Stan. So moles of HCl go into what? Who can read and tell me what label am I trying to get to? Type it in, please. See if your brain's going. So I'm starting with moles of HCl. What am I trying to get to? And yes, I know this is review. If you've already got all this, just relax. Go with the flow. But a lot of you don't. Okay, I got it from several of you. I got it from Remy. I got it from Lisa and Brooks. I need moles of what? And I got it from UCN, Stephanie, Tully, and Emelina. So moles of Cl2 is correct. And remember, mole I can abbreviate to MOL. I know it doesn't save you a lot of time, but that's what you can do. That's my plan. Let's follow it. Ready? Here we go. Now we use numbers. 82 moles of HCl. Now, for every one of these arrows, and I know here there's only one, but later there's going to be a lot more. For every one of these arrows, I want you to put a fraction line. Remember doing that? Then it's like math class. I got to make stuff cancel out. I want to get rid of moles of HCl. Where do I put that? Top or bottom to make it cancel? And I've got a person here checking in. I got Marino. Thank you, Marino. Where do I put moles of HCl as a label here to make it cancel out? Top or bottom? Please type in. Let's see if some of you got it. Oh, some of you do. Good. Okay, I got UCN, Tilly, Stephanie, Lisa, Brooks, Emelina, Tully, Coco, all have it. Julius, it is indeed the bottom, so I'm going to put mole of Cl2 down, or so, sorry, moles of HCl down here. That cancels out. And I want moles of what I want then up on top. I want moles of Cl2. Good. Where do I go to get the numbers? Where do I go to get the numbers? Or could you just tell me what are the numbers? Give me, how about this? Give me the top number and the bottom number. Top number, then bottom number. Punch that in, please. Lisa says go to the equation. She's right. So who can do that? I want the top number and the bottom number. What are they, please? Type them in. Good. A couple of you have it. Let's see some more. Pull out the right numbers. Moles of CO2 and moles of HCl. Which one is where? Okay, now we're getting a few more responses. Thank you. Good. So, moles of Cl2. Whoop, it's 3. No choice there. Moles of HCl, it's 4. So those that said 3 on top, 4 on the bottom were correct. Let's do this. I need you to do some math now. That's a little beyond what I can do in my head. Can you do 82 times 3 and then divide it by 4 for me? And then we're going to round our answer a bit to a couple numbers. So I need 3/4 of 82. Could you guys punch that out for me on your calculators now? So we're going to end up with how much? Good. Thank you, Lisa and Tilly, for doing that already. They got 61.5, nicely rounded. That's perfectly fine. And now let's put the label that's left. I got that many moles of Cl2. Okay, my people, I'm going to give you an assignment this week to do more of these. Put a box around this. Write yourself a little note next to that box. Do like this. And I'm going to get a little slightly irritated here. You know, my irritation is a lot of you are doing your own thing, which is really cool if you're dancing or whatever. But if you're doing chemistry, it's not so cool. This method is the one taught at college. This method is the one that's taught in Zambezi, in Brazil, in America, all over. Please don't invent your own method. I'm impressed if you can mathematically do this without this method. Fine. But you got to show this method to show the world you know what you're doing. So to make it really blunt, do it like this or I don't give you the points. Okay? That's how we do a mole problem. All right? Now, let me read your questions and comments before we do a gram problem. Good. Questions, comments. Let me see what people are saying. Okay. So, So, Aurora, yes, it is essentially proportions for a mole-mole problem. That is correct. So, essentially, you're doing proportions when you do this method. And I know, Aurora, you can do a simple proportion, one fraction equals another, and do it that way. However, I don't want you to do it that way. So please do it my way because it's the internationally accepted way. And it teaches you something that proportions don't teach you. It teaches you something about labels or the Einheit. And that's super important. Plus, the problem is, Remy, when we get to gram problems, I can't use proportions anymore. They just don't work. Not unless I use a lot of proportions, and then it's a big mess. Okay, and oh, I see someone I'm going to get rid of. Bye-bye. Good. Okay, so pardon me, Remy, pardon me. Sorry about that. My problem is when your name comes up on my screen, it says Aurora. I know you go by Remy. Pardon me. Uh, I'm just trying to teach as well as I can. Okay, so any other questions other than Remy's question? Okay, we're going to keep this same reaction here. Let me make sure you guys can see the board. We're going to keep the same reaction. We're going to do a gram problem with it instead of mole, unless you got something else you want to ask about. So this is the plan, Stan, for mole. Make sure you got a box around it. Yippee skippy. Okay, let's do part C. Part C is going to be a gram. Like pizza. Okay. All right, so here we go. Part C. If (200.0) milliliters of water formed, and that's grams. And I'm going to let you think about that. Let's see if some of you know. 200 milliliters of water. If 200 milliliters of water formed, which is blah, blah grams, see if you could fill in that blank now. And here comes the question. Then someone reacted how much HCl? And I'll just tell you, in chemistry language, how much is in grams? Okay? So when I ask how much, it's always grams and not moles. Okay, let me read that again, make sure it's clear. So if 200 milliliters of water formed, which is blah, blah grams, then someone must have reacted how much in grams? HCl. Okay, so 200 milliliters is how many grams of water? And a couple of you have it. Looks like David has it, Lisa has it, Aaron has it, Marino has it. That's exactly 200.0 grams. Now, I can't do that for wood or lead or plastic because they don't have the same density. Remember when we studied density? But I can sure do it for water. Water is special. 1 gram of it, 1 milliliter of it weighs 1 gram. So that's going to be 1 to 1. It's the only stuff I can do that with. Okay, so here we go. Let's make a plan. I'm starting out with water, aren't I? So milliliters, no, grams. So we're going to start out with grams of water. And ultimately, let's see what they want, okay? Okay, ultimately they want grams of HCl. So I'm going to put that over here. But I can't do that in one step because reactions are not written in grams, right? It's not like 4 grams plus 1 gram makes 3 grams plus 2 grams, even though that would theoretically work here. But it's not in grams, it's in moles. So I got to do some stuff in the middle here. To change from water to HCl, I cannot have them in grams, can I? So help me out with my plan, okay? I first got to change the grams of water to what? To what label? The grams of water, I got to change that first to what so I can use the reaction. Please type in. So the grams has got to be changed to something so I can use the reaction. You got it. Thank you. Lisa and Remy have it. And I'll just write it. I got to change it to moles of water. So moles of H2O. Okay, we're getting closer. Now, I can use the reaction, but I can't go right to grams of HCl from moles of water. I first got to change from moles of water to moles of something else. So what's next on my plan? So Aaron had that as well. Thank you, Aaron. So I got to go from now, I'm trying to get over to grams of HCl, but first I've got to go from moles of water to what label? It's a little tight here, but I think I can fill it in. Oops, I've got a bug. Sorry. There you go. There you go. To moles of the other stuff, to moles of what I want. So moles of, I'm going to write it. Well, I guess I can squeeze it in. Moles of HCl. Okay, why? Because that's what they ask about. How much HCl? First I can get it in moles, and then now I'm going to rewrite that because I hate having my plan look all. So we got moles of HCl. Now we get to go finally to grams of HCl. That, my friends, is our plan. And it's a lot more complicated than a gram-gram problem. But it's something we can do. Okay, and Lisa makes a good comment. It's basically in the middle, it's a mole-mole problem, isn't it? Good observation, Lisa. So in the middle, I got moles of this to moles of that. It's going to be a little tiny mole-mole problem stuck inside of this gram-gram thing. So we can do it. Okay. All right. Okay, so off we go. Next, I got to do it. So let's start out with how much we got. So we got 200.0 grams of water. Then here's the secret, and here's why I have you do a plan when you're first learning how to do these. Check this out. I got 1, 2, 3 arrows. That means I've got 1 times 2 times 3 fractions. With a mole-mole problem, we had 1. Now, in this plan, we got 3. So put yourself 3 fraction lines. Now, we're going to go ahead and do the labels. So don't worry about the the numbers. We're just going to do the labels. I'm going to start out with you. Okay, I want to go from, here's my plan, grams to moles. So I want to get rid of grams, and that's grams of water. So I'm going to put grams of water down here to make it cancel out like an algebra class. And I'm going to put a line through there. We're going to use red for that. So the grams of water is gone. Boop. And now I got my next label is moles of water. So let's put that on top. Moles H2O. Okay, we're done with our first arrow. Let's go to the next one. Next one, I want to go from moles of H2O to moles of HCl. So you know what? Let's get rid of this sucker by putting moles of H2O at the bottom. And I'm going to stop there and ask you, what label goes at the top right here? So at the bottom, I put moles of water. Look at your plan. What label goes on top? Please type it in now so I know that all of you are following. So I've got moles of H2O. What label is going at the top? Julius, not grams. Check out your plan. We did the first one. We did grams of H2O to moles of H2O, but now we're on this one. Let's see if some others have it. Yeah, good. Several of you have it. No, not grams though. Coco, UCN, we're not at grams yet. We're still on this arrow right here. That's the second fraction. So there's no grams on that. A lot of you got it now. Marino, Coco, Lisa, Yulis. So it is indeed now moles on top of HCl. I can squeeze it in here, sorry. Okay, what does that do? It allows me to cancel out. Check this out. So I'm going to get rid of now the moles of H2O. Woot, because they cancel, right? One at the top and one at the bottom cancels out and makes one, just like in algebra class. And now I've got moles of HCl. Now I'm going to go to my last arrow in my plan. Now you see why I'm doing this plan, right? So I'm going from moles of HCl to grams of HCl. I want to get rid of moles of HCl, so I'm going to put it down at the bottom, cancel it out. And now I bet you guys can help me. What label goes on top here? Please type it in. So the last fraction, what label goes on top if I'm following my plan here? Check out the last arrow in the plan. Super. Thank you, Lisa. Let's see if some others have it as well. What label goes on top of this thing? The last fraction. These fractions, by the way, are called conversion factors. So I got 3 conversion factors in a gram-gram problem. Thank you. Tully has it, and Tilly has it, and Marino, Emelina, Stephanie has it. Good. So it's grams of HCl. Bum, bum, voila. You might say, Mr. Weiss, well, we didn't put any numbers in. Yeah, don't worry. The numbers are relatively easy to put in. The labels are the hard part. So the hard part, my folks, is done. Okay, now for the numbers, you know how to do this. All right, here we go. Moles to grams. Well, this is what's called a molar mass. And remember, every time I look up a molar mass, I want the weight for 1 mole. So put yourself a 1 here, and I want the molar mass of H2O. Okay, H2O, right? Now, we found earlier what that was for HCl. Let's do H2O now. Punch it in. How many grams is it? Round it to the 10th place. That one I think you can do mentally. Just look at the numbers on your periodic table for H and O. And how many grams would that be for 1 mole? Super. Tully has it. Lisa has it. And let's see if some others get it there too. So 2 H's and 1 O. Thank you, Aaron and Tilly as well. So it's 18.0. I put 0.0 because we agree to go to the 10th place. Even though it's a 0, I like to show it. Yes, I know it doesn't change the number. Good. Let's go to the middle spot. The middle spot, like Lisa said earlier, it's kind of a mole-mole problem. So now, just like the other problem, to change chemicals, where do I go? How do I find the mole-to-mole ratio? And if you know what that ratio is, can you tell me what number's on top and what number's on the bottom? Super. So what number's on top, what number's on the bottom for this mole-mole ratio? Again, I'll read it off. It's moles of HCl over moles of water. Good. I got one person has it. Let's see if some others figure it out as well. So we're going to look up right here our balanced equation, right? So don't get all weirded out. Same equation as last problem. Find the numbers for me. Good. Aaron has found them. Tilly, Lisa has found them. Thank you. Brooks has found them. So has Emelina. Dynamite. Okay, so they all say 4 moles of HCl, 4, 2 moles of water. The only time you use this mole numbers up here is in the middle of a gram problem. Notice back at this first spot, that was moles too, but I need the weight of 1 mole. So 1 mole here. Even though it's 2 moles of water, I only want the weight of 1 mole to convert over like this. All right, it's going to be the same at the backside. Ready? Here we go. For the backside, I want to go from moles of HCl to grams of it. Same thing as the front one. I want the weight of 1 mole of HCl, not 4. The 4 is only used to convert over like this. So for 1 mole of HCl, can you guys remind me, what did we come up with? I erased it. Can you remind me what it was? What was the molar mass of HCl that we did at the beginning of the class today? What was the grams of HCl for 1 mole? Thank you. There it is, Lisa. So we agreed it's 36.5. Now you know why I asked you that, don't you? And the rest is mathematics. The rest is punching it into a calculator. So I need you, because I don't have my calculator here. You ready? All the numbers on top of the fractions multiply, unless it's a 1. Then I don't care. So we got what? 200 times 4 times 36.5 equals. The numbers on the bottom, you're going to divide by each of those. So you're going to go equals whatever, then divided by 18 and divided by 2. The 1 doesn't matter, does it? Good. And thank you others for giving me that molar mass as well. So we got that from, who else? We got that from Stephanie, Tilly, Emelina, Tully, Brooks, and Aaron had that same number. Thank you. I'm glad you can all find that. Now, can we all please multiply? And let's see what we get for a final answer. So 200 times 4 times 36.5 equals, then divided by 18 and divided by 2. And you may want to use some brackets, however you want to do it on your calculator. You probably know better how to use it than I do. And then we're going to round our answer a little bit, but let's see what we get for an answer. So can you, once you get it all on your calculator, can you type in an answer? And I need us to compare and see if we all get the same thing. Everyone should get the same answer. Good. Okay, I got some answers already, and they're looking the same. I got the same answer from Stephanie, UCN, and Tilly. I got the same from Keanu. Thank you for punching that out. Good to have you punching with us there, Keanu and Coco. You, super. And I like the way Keanu rounded that. Let's look at it. 811.1. I'll teach you more if I have you in 10th grade, but here's why I like that. Notice that this thing had 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers, right? If I include the 0.0. The numbers, so 1, 2, 3, 4 spots. And so did the number that Keanu gave me. It's 80, whoops, sorry, that was a 1 there, Keanu. It was 8811.1, and everybody got that. Good job, folks. And it's grams of acid, HCl. So you've now been able to answer the question, okay? And by the way, unlike my German colleagues, I don't need an answer sentence. This, for most of the world, is adequate to show you know what you're doing. So if someone formed 200 milliliters of water, how much HCl? Well, clearly, with this work, 811.1 grams of HCl is what they must have started out with. Hydrochloric acid, again, that's the one in your stomach, and it's in some nasal sprays too, to like clear out your nose. Weird, huh? Good. Okay, so my people, I will not be able to meet you next time because I'm teaching in school during that time on Thursday. So you can kind of guess what I'm going to do. I'm going to send you an equation, and I'm going to have you do just like we did today. I'm going to have you get a molar mass. I'm going to have you do a mole and a gram problem. Now, ready? You know what's coming. Circle this. Well, square it. I guess I'm going to square it. And write yourself a note. Do like this. And. So please do not be creative. I know, don't you hate it when teachers say that? Do not develop your own method. This is the method used around the world, including in a video I think I sent to you as well. In every country, this is how chemists figure out gram problems. So there we go. So thank you. Yeah, and Aurora, Remy had that same number. So very good. You have physics in 2 minutes. Yes, you do, because we're about done, and we go till 10:30. But I'm going to let you go early because you guys have done well. Good participation. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to send you an assignment to work on. I'll have it due Friday. Wish you good luck, and I hope to see half of you next week. All right. So, bye. Have a good day. Good luck in physics. Thanks, everybody. Good participation today.